at Solent Sport to get the latest sports news for the South.
BBC Radio Solent.
Go. Welcome to Going Home with Adam and Joe. And after a few technical gremlins as we try and do something sexy post-match at Fratton Park, we finally made it live on the stream. Apparently, if you're there, if you're listening, if you can see us, hello wherever you are across the country on the BBC Sport website and app. Adam Blackmore and Joe Tesson with you, of course. We're really crunching down on the numbers from this derby game against Pompey, but we're going to do it without any numbers. We've got no stats in front of us, Joe, as always. We'll do it, as you would say, on the feel factor, okay?
To the feel, no XG.
No XG, everybody, just the feel factor. Ultimately, we've got a lot to talk about. Tonder Eckert's changes. Did he get it right with the starting 11? What does this point mean? What does this week mean? 4 points out of 6. Do we still have ambitions for Southampton to be in the playoffs? It's only a couple of wins, 7 points. Don't know. But does that mean that they've got to win at Stoke next Saturday lunchtime? Probably. Lots of that to talk about. And the game itself, which was a much better game than the game at St Mary's in September. We got the fire and brimstone. We got the tackles. You were enjoying it as an ex-pro. Some of those tackles where players knew what was going to happen before they went into it. They could see they could take the player and the ball at the same time. And we got all the stuff you want in a derby. But ultimately, my prediction of 1-1 came true, and that's because I was worried they couldn't keep a clean sheet. They have not kept Southampton an away clean sheet since Boxing Day 2024.
Oh, that's worrying.
Boxing Day 2024, under Simon Rusk's guidance at Fulham, 0-0 in the Premier League. They haven't kept an away clean sheet since. So anybody saying 1-0 Pompey didn't understand, or didn't 1-0 Saints, didn't realise that was going to be the case. So look, first of all, the overall, how should Saints fans feel about that performance and that point?
I think they should be happy with one part of this. Is the way we fought, the battle that we put out to come and fight. I think that was pretty good. I think we stood up, and we haven't seen that much from us this season. And today we got to see it, and I was really impressed with that, because you got to come here and battle. You got to win the battles and win the challenges. And I think we did. And then the football came through, and we saw a part of good playing of a part of football game in it, and got 1-0, and then the corner, and then it fell apart a little bit. So the game had everything. And firstly and foremost, I'm going to give credit to one guy on the pitch.
Okay, ready, everyone?
That's the referee. The
Here
referee was absolutely
the pro
fantastic.
referee game. We waited for it forever.
Yeah, he was.
He did well, didn't he? Let it play,
let
let
them
them tackle.
go. Yeah, fantastic. Let it go, flying in tackles. Calm down, not a problem. Even when there was a little bit of a scrap on the other end over there, he stood back, just watched it, let it fold out, and calm down. And 2 yellow cards, play on. Yeah, really good.
He did do very well. I will tell you, everybody, it has got really cold here at Fratton Park, and we're on the stream, of course, as well as being on BBC Sound. There's some lovely heaters down there, Joe, for everyone to see. Pitch heaters. We should have gone and stood down there.
Yeah, we should have done.
And done this. Would have been much nicer. Look, the referee did well. The players did well, but they capitulated from a set piece yet again. Yeah. A corner. I have to give credit to Segacic. It was really hard to deal with. It came down from height, and it was coming right under the crossbar. There was a sort of clearance off the line that spooned it up for Adams to head it in. Was it actually a defensive disaster, or was it just a good corner?
It is a good corner, but you can always find defensive ways of dealing with it. And you would always think, oh, why didn't you win that challenge? Why didn't you head it? But I think, for me, is how it led to a corner. And that came from a long ball up. We kind of cleared it, ended up into the right side where it kicked it into Wellington, and it went down for that corner after a while. I can't remember who was on the right-hand side. Yeah. And that's where the corner came from. That could have been avoided. And I think that's where the problem was, because we were kind of in control of the football side of the game.
But they were getting pushed back.
We were getting a little bit pushed back, but that's all they had. And that's how it went on. But we got to defend better at corners, and we got to be stronger, and we are letting in too many goals.
Having said that, the amount of crosses that came in that they did deal with, and I thought Harwood Bellis had probably his best game of the season. There was only once in the second half I remember him passing the ball to a blue shirt out from the edge of his box, and I thought Jack Stevens was excellent. Yeah. So those two probably could both have had their best games of the season.
Yeah, they took the battle with Bishop, which was a tough battle there today, and they did really well with that. And I liked the way that Howard Bellis gave some back to Bishop, because that was a proper battle.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed having James Breer back. I thought he did really well as a right back today. And in the 4-4-2, I think is his position. I think he is a good right back. And today we played with a back four, suits him. And he had to deal with Ogilvy and Ali on the side, and he dealt with that. And they caused a lot of problems, but he dealt with it, and I thought he did a really good game there.
A lot of us thought that James Brees should never have left Saints when they got going. We thought he was perfect for the Championship. His experience in it was massive. And then he goes to Charlton, he's flying, assists, goals. Obviously Nathan Jones loves him, he's doing really well. Then he comes back and we all think, well, he's just coming back to go back to Charlton, they're going to sort a deal out and James Breer will be off. So I've just spoken to him after the game and he says, well, if they want me, Southampton want to keep me, then I'm happy here. So it's whether they're going to play him or not is the key. And based on today, the answer is yes under Tonder Eckert, whereas it wasn't yes under Will Still.
No, and he is very clear on this. He wanted to come here and play football. And he has been put in a position where he has to choose. So if you're not going to play me, I want to go somewhere else. I want to play football. And that's the position the club has put in. That's not James Breer's position. He's just been put in that position, and he has to make decisions on what's happened. And like I said to you on the interview, he wants to play football like everyone does. And he's a good right back. And from the point of where he is now, he's come back, he's gone straight in, which shows that Tonder Eckert has faith in him to use him. And he said that he's been drilled into the formation, had a meeting with him, gone through the details and been put in a good position. And I am enjoying him in the Championship. I really do. And I think he's had an unfair treatment in the way he was brought into the club.
Yeah, and I think he should have been in Will Still's plans.
Oh yeah,
he should have
definitely
been staying. He should have been in his plans. And I think that's one of the three changes he makes. And Tonder Eckert said after the game to me, well, look, he's played every game, he's match fit, he's ready to go, he just had to get some details down. But you think about it, half the reason he always justified playing three at the back is that he wanted bigger players on the pitch to defend set pieces. Ironically, it's not really worked, but he wanted the situation where having more height would give him a chance to defend better, which makes logical sense. What he gets with James Breer is a right back with some height. He gets a right back who isn't small. Yellert has been very good and he's good going forward, but he isn't big. No. I mean, he is quite a small player. And then Ruslav isn't obviously either liked or fit enough, and that certainly isn't match fit. But Bree's probably, given Yellert's only just come back from injury as well, the best right back option he has. So when it comes to the three changes he made to the team, although it was a shock to start with, playing Breer when you think it through has made a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a new player. He's been there. He knows a lot of the other players, which helps you when you come back and you know how he can play alongside Howard Bellis, because he knows how Howard Bellis plays. So that helps you. Maybe the formation in terms of having Tonder Eckert as manager is different for him. He still knows how the other player reacts to him, and that it helps you when you come in. So I think for him coming back, because he's match fit, he knows the environment, he knows the players, kind of an easy choice. And he's match fit, which is the most important thing.
So let's go to the other two changes, because I think they're more controversial.
Yep.
Certainly Matsuki in for Fellows was the one that surprised us more than anything. But the question is Tonder Eckert right? Now we've watched the game. Was he right? That when I asked him why he played him, he said he's a warrior, he's gives everything, he's played in the Tokyo derby, he's played in derbies in Turkey. So's Yellert, by the way, the Fenerbahce Galatasaray won. So, you know, he's played him instead of Fellows, and given how rollicking the game became, like a proper derby where players are going at it, was he better suited to that than Fellows? Because Fellows is like will-o'-the-wisp, and would you rather have had Fellows as a weapon?
It's how you approach the game, and if you're offensive-minded, you would choose Fellows, because he is more attacking-wise. If you are cautious and playing to get through the first bit, because you know there's going to be a lot of challenges, a lot of ball in the air, a lot of got to have stronger players and not so much forward play, then maybe that is the right choice. It is, in one way, it's the right choice, because he is on the pitch when they are 1-0 up. Yeah. So you could give him credit and say you got it right because you're 1-0 up. the problem is he went off and then they lost track of that, and that is the difference.
He's the same age as Fellows. They're both 22. They're obviously very different styles of play. You look at Matsuki, you watch him play. He's generally an 8. He's a central midfielder more than a right winger.
Yeah.
And he's more of an 8 to a 10. He has got a lot of talent at his feet. He's got some skills, a couple of great back heels in this game here at Fratton Park, and he'll certainly scrap. But again, like Fellows, he's not physical particularly as a player, and he's young. Maybe he just thought it was the stronger of the two options for this style of game that he was expecting.
Well, I think he positioned the midfield a little bit different today. So it almost looked like a diamond, more like a 4-2-3-1. It become, you got Finisas and then almost the Flynn Downs in two ends of the diamond, and then you have kind of Caspiando and Matsuki on the other side. And that could drift around a little bit.
I think you might be right, but I'm not sure it worked.
No,
I mean, if you look at the actual effectiveness of it, I thought there were times when they were midfield, they weren't winning enough second balls. Thought Downs had a lot of ground to cover on his own.
Especially first half, I think there were a lot ahead. And they got a lot of space, Portsmouth, down the left-hand side, because Matsuki is too far in. So that leaves the space for Ali and Ogilvy in terms of the left-hand side. And there was a little bit similar on the other side. And that's where we have had a few problems before, because we played with wing-backs. So today it kind of got a little bit of just the second half. But second half we came up with a little bit more fire, and we won those challenges. And then the football came through by itself. And we ended up scoring a brilliant goal.
Obviously, Saints fans are delighted not to lose. They haven't lost either derby. Southampton, they both finished all square. No one's got bragging rights, but no one really cares about that. But what Saints fans do care about is whether they've got the right manager. So he makes those changes. He gets a point. He gets a win against Sheffield United. The reaction still from a lot of supporters that we've had on the radio and on X and everywhere else is still underwhelmed. They're underwhelmed by their team. They're disappointed they've conceded another set piece. They're not thinking, well, hey, we've got a point at Pompey and we're going to go up. They're still not convinced everybody, but they have had a better week. So when you look at the changes and you look at Adam Armstrong in for Stewart, I get why you play with Armstrong on the counter-attack because of his pace, and he should have scored after 12 minutes. He probably thought he'd scored after 20-odd minutes when a great save from Schmidt. Both good saves. So was that the right decision to play Armstrong instead of Stewart? Or are we still not sure about the team, the best team? Are we still not sure about the manager? Where are you with it all?
Yeah, well, it's a bit tricky. I think
Armstrong's got 11 goals, but everyone wants Stewart to play.
Well, would that have been different if he did score on the two chances he had?
Yeah, because he hasn't scored for 10 games
and
now.
he hasn't scored. So this is where football is decided, isn't it? It's decided on the moments of a football game where you got to take those chances and score, and especially the first one when he's one-on-one. And that sets you up as a player. That changes things in terms of your confidence and brings the team on a different level. And that's what you need players to do in the championship, because high-level football, take advantage of those moments that win you football games. Because if he scores down that corner, the game is kind of gone. And that's what you need them to do. Do I think, in terms of a lot of things first half, there was a lot of long balls, a lot of headers. For Stewart, obviously a lot taller than Adam Armstrong. It doesn't mean he's going to win more headers, but naturally you think he's going to win more headers and flick-ons. That could have been the difference, because I think we needed him in the beginning of the game because there were more balls in the air.
And of course, I think Pompey come out flying, so you need that out. You need somebody to get you out, and Stewart's more likely to do that when you know the start of a derby, you're going to be under the cosh a bit, and the ball's going to be raining in. Having said that, I mean, we might have gone the other way. We might have started Stewart and brought Armstrong on after an hour,
I think we both would have had Tom Fellows on the side. I would have been more offensive in that way, and I would have had him on the side, and I would have played a little bit wider with Cienza and Fellows, and I probably would have had Stewart there. I think he brings the game different. I don't think Adam Armstrong had a bad game. I'm not saying that, but it's just the height
balance
difference
of the team and the style. What we saw on Wednesday night was more convincing as a sort of group playing together. It looked more convincing in that they look more balanced.
A little more balance, and I think Ross Stewart finds that natural points of being where you are a lone striker. You like Bishop today, fought with both Stevens and Harvard Bellis, and I think that's what Ross Stewart would do, and that's the thing I don't see with Adam Armstrong. But the run he made for the one-on-one chance, the movement he made on that, brilliant. And he works hard. Adam Armstrong, one thing you get from him, he always will work hard.
Yeah, he shut everything down, closed everything down, chased everything. The thing is, him and Azaz have now not scored for 10 games.
Yeah, that's
each
not
of
good.
them. How much of a worry is that? Because you're almost inviting Stewart to take Armstrong's place when you don't score for 10 and miss chances. But at the end of the day, he's still the most likely player, the only one in the squad who could possibly get to 20 goals. So does that matter? Do you need to let Adam Armstrong play through his lean spell? Or does he have to come out more often and rest a bit and put Stewart up? I think what I'm saying is, what's the best way to get the season back on the upturn? Is it by bringing fresh bodies in, or is it by letting players go through it and having your best finishers on the pitch? Because I know he's missed today a couple of chances, but Armstrong's the best finisher Saints have by a mile.
Yeah, well, he is, because he's our
And
top
Cienza.
scorer. Yeah, well, in Cienza, and you, to win and be a good football team, you need more players to score, but you always need one to kind of be the top of the goal scoring list. And we have Adam Armstrong. He's a good finisher, don't get me wrong. Him in form. And
Yeah,
today, a
that's
little
what I
bit small margins for him to go. I think the first one is going to annoy him because he came through and he should have probably done better on that one. But it is hard, and you always need, everyone needs to score. You need to score different goals as well. But this is a tricky one. Are we more than, what you are saying is that we're technically more a 4-4-2 team with two strikers?
If Stewart and Armstrong could fire together, that would be the best way to get a chance of going back to the top six. That's what I think.
Yeah.
You got to start winning games now. These draws are no good. Saints have now 6 games on the road without a win, which we never thought we'd say after the way they played at Charlton. They are 1 win in 9 league matches. That's another draw.
Yep.
They're 7 points off the playoffs. So, are they doing enough to keep going as they are, or do we actually need to see Tonder Eckert really make some bold moves now? So can we, for a start off, can we just scrap the 3 at the back? Because Harwood, Bellis, Stevens, Bree and Wellington seem to me that they could be a 4 rest of the season. And I'd start with that point and then play as many attacking players as you can. There's got to come a point where you stop thinking, I don't want to lose games, and he goes back to what he was as an interim, which is trying to win games.
Well, I want him to go back to what he was.
And I'm not about the style. I don't want to go over the old ground we've talked about with what he was in that. But actually, you're getting to the point like that where at the start of he's come in, it was like we're playing catch-up. All the players say, we're playing catch-up. We can't draw games. We've got to go and win them. We've got to go for it. We went for it at Charlton. Went for it against Birmingham. Went for it against West Brom in the first half. We've got to win games. Then, of course, as the confidence goes with a couple of bad defeats, and away from home, as you said, there's no clean sheets to back you up.
Nope.
So, but at some point you've got to say, well, stuff that, because that's not going to get us promoted. We need to be scoring goals and we need to be winning games. Could you play 2 up top, or is it just not the modern coach's way? It's
it doesn't seem to be the modern football. I don't know what's happened with the 4-4-2, because everyone played 4-4-2 before.
Yeah,
And it was kind of the English way of playing good football, and it doesn't happen anymore. And I'm a little bit. There's so many new managers who wants to do different things and put things in, overthink football or create a new game almost in terms of football. And I don't know why we've gone back from just having one striker. Most teams just have one striker.
So if Saints want to get their best players on the pitch, 4-4-2 works and 4-2-3-1 works if you think Azaz is better than a second striker. That's the way I think of it.
Yeah.
In a 4-4-2, you'd have Fellows right, you'd have Cienza left, you'd have Stewart and Armstrong up front, and you'd probably have Downs and Yander in the middle of the park, or Downs and Charles. Actually,
well,
I thought Shea Charles has looked good as both substitute.
Well, what you are trying to say, which I agree to, is that you got to try and win football games. And when he was interim manager, he tried to win the games by going forward quickly. Wasn't too bothered about having too much possession, but going forward was more important than having possession. We kind of changed it a little bit. Well, now, not today, because today was got to win the battles.
Yeah.
Kind of got 50-50 on that one. We stood up to what we were facing. Then we had this spell of good football, scored a goal. Then can you keep a clean sheet? And that's the only way we kind of faltered today. We didn't keep a clean sheet. And that's the difference. And again on a set piece. But can you go to a game and take it by the scruff
of the neck.
Scruff of the neck.
Away or at home.
Away or at home, and go forward and play like we're coming here, we're confident, we're going to do what we do.
Shouldn't matter which bit of grass you're on. Have the same
exactly.
attitude, style, setup, everything, I think. The other thing is, about the week, 8 days ago, we'd all had enough. They lose at home to Hull. They were bad. They were headless chickens again.
Oh.
There was Will Still football again. It was running around, everyone out of position, people not doing their jobs properly. And I'm thinking, this is it for Tonda. This is it. He's probably had it.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, well, I mean, after that whole game, if I'm the owners listening to the place boo at St Mary's and boo them off the park, I'm thinking I've got to do something. Now, they get the win against Sheffield United and the clean sheet. Great. Now they've got a point at Pompey. So where are you now overall with where they are? Are they back on track a bit? We've seen a bit more, I thought, forward football against Sheffield United in patches.
Yeah.
Thought we saw some today, and the goal itself, Cienza's goal, was about getting the ball one touch past players and through on goal. Are they looking a bit better or not, or have they just got better results?
Yes, I think Sheffield United was a little bit of a change because we played with wingers, we played back four, we were eager to get forward and get the ball in the box and created opportunities. And it's a difference. It should have been more. Cienza should definitely have scored on the back post when the cross came in from Adam Armstrong. But I saw a little bit of what we saw in the beginning of this interim manager when he came in, Tom Decker. And I want to see more of that. I think you got to play to win. If you play to win, you will mostly be successful. Yes, you will lose games, but you will have more chances of winning. If you come in with a negative mind, I don't think you are going to win. Today is a bit of a different game because there's so many aspects you've got to consider. And sometimes it's about riding off what comes first, which was the high pressure, the tempo, which you knew was going to come out at Fratton Park. And he managed that. I think he managed that quite well. And then you go 1-0 up, like I said earlier. Can you ride it out? And we didn't. Well, so a point in the end is a good point.
A point's a good point, but there's a week or so to go in the transfer window. We are going to have to head to our tunnel soon, everyone. Get back to the red half of Hampshire without anyone noticing.
Yeah.
Right, hide, burrow through, come out on the other side. But before that, the transfer window, 8 days to go. It finishes on Monday. We'll be live again on BBC Sounds, on BBC iPlayer, with a show from our studio with the transfer deadline night at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. When it ends, where do you want Saints to be? Have they done enough? If they win at Stoke next Saturday, are we suddenly going to see the club go, right, let's buy a couple of players to push?
No, because we are where we are in the league. We've got to look at where we are on the table. And
so change it with the window, buy a couple of players.
Yeah, and I think we need that.
Do you think it's worth doing in January, or do you wait till the summer?
We are 7 points off playoff place today. I think we worked out on the table. And if you are 7 points off, I know you got to win more than the other teams does, but they seem to lose points. Everyone seems to lose points. So are you in that mindset? And this is where the club is facing now. That's the dilemma. Are we in the mind that we think we can get her?
What would we do?
If we're going to get her, I would.
Would you buy?
I would, because you're playing now, I would buy a centre half. I would get a striker.
Yeah.
I think maybe I will start looking at a midfield player, but I think we need to get rid of some midfield players first.
Yeah.
I think we need to strengthen to go to the next level.
Away at Pompey and away at Stoke, back to back, are two nasty away games. Stoke haven't been great as they were at the start of the season, but they beat Saints back at the start of the campaign. It won't be easy at there. 12:30 again. Won't be quite like the 12 o'clock here. It'll be more like can everyone get up for a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Fans and players. Awkward, difficult game. And again, away from home, they can't keep a clean sheet. So the question is, can they score 2 goals to win at Stoke? One of the tougher away games, I think, of the season.
Yeah, that's not an easy place to go. Never been an easy place to go to. And can you then pick it up from where you are today? And there were some good signs today, and hopefully that can bring you forward. So even though you only get a point, there were some signs of things we haven't seen which has improved. And I'm hoping that the players also see that, and that you can step it up. But they have to realise to step it up like they did today, that's what you got to do. Now, I am a little bit disappointed with today because I looked at the team sheet and you can see Pompey, how reduced they were in terms of their squad. And you looked at our squad, looked really strong today, no injuries. Coming in, you should be favourite.
Well, and the subs didn't work. It's worth saying that. They just to sign off, they had an opportunity to win the game, and at half-time we said, that's where you want. You're away from home, like we said at Middlesbrough, 0-0, can you go and win the game now? You've got a great bench, can Tonda Eckert mastermind a win? They go 1-0 up after 57 minutes. It's going absolutely to plan.
Yep.
They haven't conceded, they've gone up 1-up. There's over
playing good
half an hour to
football
go,
at that
playing
point.
good football. Then he makes the substitutions within 10 minutes, and the rhythm of the team's gone with the ball. They lose their their threat. And really, it's not surprising Pompey came back into it. And if anyone was going to nick it, it was them. So do they have to change? I mean, I don't think that's his fault, the substitutions. They just didn't play well.
This can work two ways for you. But
what I'm saying is he doesn't know what the players are going to do when they get on the pitch.
So when we scored, just before we scored, we could see Ross Stewart and Shay Charles get ready to go on.
Yeah.
Then we go and score. And when you score, I would then go, calm down a little bit, sit down. I'll let this go a little bit longer because we actually got the goal. Now you're leaving the players that are on the pitch, giving them the signal because then they can see, actually, we got in and scored.
And they feel good. They want to
sit down, unless you're tired or injured. Yeah. I'm going to let you continue a little bit longer and then make the changes because maybe when you're 1-0 up, you don't really need to make any change.
Yeah, we'll finish with Cienza because he could have been the hero. He could have been the first man to score a league winner since Mick Shannon 50 years ago, and now the wait goes on for a league win at Fratton Park.
Next year.
If he has got a groin injury and he's out for 6 weeks, that's a huge blow, isn't it, to any ambitions they've got left this season?
Yeah, of course he's our main man. Without him, we have no attacking options. We have no one that can do what he does. The way he skips past players and creates opportunities, not just for himself but for others, and creates space, that we haven't got anyone with that quality. And if he's gone, I'm sorry.
We're not wasting money in the January window.
No, then you might as well just keep your money and get through the season.
Oh, Joe, have you enjoyed your trip to Fratton Park?
Yeah, I was blocked from going to the toilet, but other than that.
Thankfully, everyone, I'd just like to report he has managed to go to the toilet since 1:45 when he was blocked from going downstairs. And the good news is you've got a smile on your face. Saints haven't lost, and we live to fight another day. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone.
South.
BBC Radio Solent.
At Solent Sport to get the latest sports news for the South.
BBC Radio Solent.